Hi guys, welcome back to your own channel Be Incredible. I am Surjal Das. Today I am going to take you on a tour of countable and uncountable nouns. How it is going to be? It is going to be filled with so much of enjoyment and merriment. So let's get started. What do you mean by countable noun and what do you mean by uncountable noun? Very simple it is. How? You are surrounded by your family members, correct, at your homes, individual homes, and I am here taking your class. I am an individual, a single person in front of the camera, doing all the conversation with you and getting with you interacted. That's the process. Fine. Now here I have written down some of the examples so that it can be very much helpful for you to comprehend what it is. Countable noun, the first one is count. Count means, what do you mean by counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easily you can count up. Fine. Just like here I have given one example, a boy. How many boys are there? A boy. A book. How many how many books are there? Only one book is there. That's why a book. Okay. Then a pen. Pen, how many pens are there? Only one pen. That's why I am using here a pen. Okay. Then a few boys. How many boys are there? A few boys. That means this is under your control. You can count up. How many boys? A few boys. Not many, but a few boys you can count up very easily. Then a few, okay, books. A few books, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, and then many books you can again count up. Okay, then a lot of boys, a lot of boys. Here also you can count again a lot of books, etc. So here we are getting a new word, that is a lot of. Okay, a lot of. We are getting this one as something different as compared to others. There we got a. Okay, and with the use of a lot of boys, a lot of books, etc. Okay, all these things will be coming under countable nouns. Fine. Now the same way, if it is applicable for uncountable nouns or not. If it is applicable, then how? If it is not, then what? In those places, in the places of a few, in the places of a few, in the places of a lot, how do we use it for uncountable nouns? Let's have a look. Here I have written rise. Rise, you cannot say rises. R-I-C-E-S. Rises, no, that's wrong. Here you have to only use rise. Then water. You want to have some water. So I am using some. That means some amount of water you want to have, and a quantity. You want to have a quantity of water or an amount of water you need, a volume of water. Actually the collective noun, if I use it more perfectly, a collective noun should be used if I say more perfectly. Then milk, you need to drink some milk. Okay, so milks we cannot use. M-I-L-K only we will use. Okay, we cannot use milks. Okay, and then a little rise. Here we are not adding s. Okay, R-I-C-E-S we are not using. We are just writing R-I-C-E, rise. So a little rise. A little rise is enough for me to quench my what? My appetite. Okay, and then much water. That means there is some amount of water, there is much amount of water. So when you are talking about some quantity, at that point of time you have to keep in your mind that you have to use much. What? Much water, not much waters. That's incorrect. That's not right. That's wrong. Okay, you have to use only water, much water. Then here we have used some rice. Okay, some rice I want in my some rice I want on my plate or on my platter. So here I am using rice, not rises. Fine, some rice. Why we are not using here s? That means plural we cannot make it. Why? Because this is uncountable nouns. You cannot count up how many rices are there. You cannot say this. Okay, it's a grain. Rice is what? Small grain. So you cannot count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You cannot do like this. Okay, like there are so many stars in the galaxy. So can you count up? Then you can say a constellation of stars. Okay, a constellation of stars. You cannot say you can say there are so many stars. Okay, but you cannot say there is only a single star. Okay, yeah, it can be used for pole star, for specify something specific star you can say, but whenever you are using as such thing uncountable things, then you have to use all these kinds of things like some rice, some water. Okay, quantity, you are adding something, so at that point of time you have to use some water. Then a lot of rice is needed to eat, so a lot of rices we cannot say, we have to use only a lot of rice. So all these things you have to keep in your mind. In examination you have to use in this manner. Otherwise if you make something other word place, then it will be going wrong. Okay, then a lot of water. A lot of water means again you need to have a lot of water. So again you are using here water. Single R should be placed. Be mindful, be prudent while writing. Why? Because this is showing some kind of uncountable noun. You cannot count. Water you cannot count. Its quantity can be measured on a weight machine, but you cannot count how many waters are there. Okay, it cannot be said. How much water do you want to drink? You can say like this. Fine. So let's get continued with the previous one. Here I have brought some other examples so that it can be much more impactful for you to understand. The first example is of countable nouns, of course. The first one is many men. That means there are many men that you can count. Okay, you can count with your with the help of mathematical calculation and so on. Okay, and then many chairs. There are so many chairs you can again count on. Okay, there are so many cows, there are so many buffaloes, there are so many mobile phones. Okay, there are so many pictures, there are so many computers. So with the help of many, whenever you are using M-A-N-Y, many, this particular word is changing a particular subject. It can be anything, a particular noun into plural sense, है ना? So that's why we are using S. We are using S, chairs. Okay, after many, what we are adding? Chairs. So S we are using, and with the help of S it is changing into plural. So likewise, similarly here we have got another one, many cows, C-O-W-S. Again it is getting plural. Okay, and then many pictures, again pictures, P-I-C-T-U-R-E-S. So ES we are using S in order to make it plural. As when we are using plural, we are using many. Okay, and whenever we are using many, that means there are so many people and we can count also. Okay, but when it comes to uncountable nouns, how can we change it? In the place of many, just put much. So simple. M-U-C-H. What? M-U-C-H. M-U-C-H, much butter. Why? Because butter is something that can be put on weight machine, and it's if you weigh it, it will show its weight. Fine. Then at that point of time we will use much. Okay, much, M-U-C-H, much. That means it is representing, it is showing, it is telling the quantity. It is telling the quantity. If any quantity thing is there, then there we have to use much, M-U-C-H. Much butter we are using, not butters. Okay, you have to make again this thing very clear. We cannot use S just after having used much and then butter, not butters. Many things can be said, S we can use after many, but here M-U-C-H, much, butter, butters not. Butters will be inappropriate, wrong, aghastly wrong. So much butter, be mindful. Then much sugar. Sugar again, whenever we are using what? Much. There we are just using only one thing. We are just following one thing. we are talking about amount. Whenever you go to your grocery shop, what do you say? I want to buy sugar. So चीनी लेना है मेरे को, है ना? आप ऐसे कहते हो किसको? शॉपकीपर को. तो आपको शॉपकीपर जो है वो काउंट करके चीनी नहीं देते, वो किलो के हिसाब से आपको चीनी देते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे अनकाउंटेबल नाउन की बात हम कर रहे हैं, और जो कि शुगर है, चीनी है, चाहे आप सॉल्ट कह लो, चाहे आप टी कह लो, वो ग्राम के हिसाब से, किलो के हिसाब से आपको प्रोवाइड करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे क्वांटिटी नापा जा रहा है, जिसके बदौलत से आप पहचान सकते हो कि मेरे को इतना ग्राम या इतना किलो लेना है. कोई भी सामग्री हो, चाहे वो शुगर, चाहे वो सॉल्ट, कुछ भी हो, यहाँ पे क्वांटिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हम यहाँ पे क्या यूज कर रहे हैं? मच. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग हियर मच, नॉट मेनी. Okay, so here we are using much, that's why we are using sugar. Much sugar, not much sugars. Sugars will be cross, will be wrong. Much salt, I need much salt. Okay, so you are eating something and you need some salt, okay, on your plate. So you are asking for much salt or some salt. Salts, we cannot use it at any which way. At any which way we cannot use salts. Okay, we have to use only salt, S-A-L-T. Just before that you have to use much. Why? Because this is showing the quantity. Fine. Now much tea. Tea you consume, okay, you drink. So here also we are using what? Tea. Much tea. Okay, tea is not. Much honey. Honey you drink, it's good for your health. So much honey is needed. Much water is needed. Any liquid product that can be measured in terms of volume, all these things will be coming under much. We have to use much in front of these kinds of things. Okay, then much money. You need much money. Okay, so you can use much. Okay, not monies. Monies cannot be said. Okay, much money. This is how. Now if I give you one example, how any as such questions may arise in your question paper, and how will you answer to it. So just have a glimpse of these two questions. You have some rough idea, you can have some rough idea regarding how what kind of questions can be coming out from this. Okay, the very first question is there any water in glass? Question mark. Okay, is there any water in glass? So you have to say yes. You have to say yes, there is some. So you are using some, S-O-M-E, some. That means some amount you are showing. This is what? This is glass, and here it is water. Water is what? Water is liquid. Liquid, so liquid in form. So here we are using yes, there is some. Some is an example of what? Some is an example of uncountable noun. Okay, many waters cannot be said, it's wrong. Some water can be said. Okay, okay, then second one is there any books in the almirah? Is there any books in the almirah? Question mark. So the answerer is saying yes, there are some books in the almirah. So here we are using lots of books. There are lots of books. You can count up again. Again, this is an example of countable nouns. So this is how we can classify two kinds of nouns that we have already read in this particular class till now. Okay. Let's come back. This is how we can write all the collective nouns. How? First we will write article, then number, then plus, then countable, plus of, plus uncountable. Okay, here I have written a bag of sugar. What I have written? A bag of sugar. Here in this case you can see how many, here you can see number is, how many numbers are there? A bag, that means one bag. That's why here is written A. Bag is again countable thing, countable noun, that's why we are using bag, countable bag. Of sugar. Sugar is uncountable, that's why sugar is what? Sugar cannot be calculated. How many sugars are there? We cannot say in this way. So sugar is uncountable noun. So you have to use in this way. You have to use this way. You have to use this way in order to write one collective noun. What is that? A bag of sugar. Fine. Then again, article or number 2 bags of sugar. 2 bags separately you can add 2 bags, 1 2, this is bag. You can count up with the help of mathematical calculation. So 2 is representing what? Number. Bags is a bags countable noun, then of you are using s2 as it, and then sugar is again uncountable noun. Fine. Then many bags, here many bags of sugar. Bags again you can count, there are so many bags, let's say 20 or 30 or 40 bags. You can count up with the help of mathematical calculation, but you cannot calculate again the sugar because this is an uncountable noun. Fine. 3 pieces of bread. Bread can be separated into 3 pieces, okay, by cutting it, of course. So this is a bread and it has you have made it separate by cutting. So here 1 2 3, you are getting 3 pieces of bread. Bread is again countable noun, of course, okay, and 3 pieces again countable noun. So 3 is showing number, pieces is showing countable, plus of plus bread. Bread is showing again, here in this case it is countable noun, not uncountable. Fine. Then 5 liters of petrol. 5 liters of petrol you need to have, okay. So 5 is showing the number, liters showing the the amount, and then of is showing, this is a phrase actually, of petrol. Petrol in the sense this is uncountable noun. We can understand water, milk, any liquid product is a uncountable, any liquid product is an uncountable noun. So petrol is also coming under that category only. So you have to say, in order to ask for petrol, 5 liters of petrol I want, okay. Then 9 boxes of milk powder. So here I have written here 9 boxes of milk powder. 9 boxes you need to have, that can be calculated. 9 boxes you can calculate, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like this, okay. And then boxes you can easily count it, but can you count milk powder, the dust particles that you see? No, it cannot be calculated. Simply this will also go for uncountable nouns, okay. Milk powder is also an uncountable noun, simply, okay. And then there is a fleet of ships. A fleet of ships. So here fleet is used in order to say about any of the automobile things, like fleet is applicable for ships, for aircrafts, anything. A fleet of aircrafts, a fleet of ships. This is what? Ships you can count, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, you can count, okay. A fleet is showing their congregation or their, let's say, what should I say, their group, okay, their group. So in the place of group you have to use fleet, because that is more appropriate, and appropriate not only, it is more adequate, more appropriate, everything you can say, no issues. A fleet of ships. So ships can be calculated. So that this is an example of countable noun. And if there are so many ships, in that you have to use, if you are asked to write, make it into, let's say, uncountable noun, make it into collective noun, then you have to use a fleet of ships. That's how. Fine. Now let's get continued with the previous one. Here I have written a crew of sailors. Sailors, in the, what does it mean? Sailors meaning the people who are on the sea, they sail through the a sea, they are called sailors, okay. So in order to talk about sailors, in order to talk about them, how will you use? You have to use a crew of sailors. That means there are some people who are sailing through the sea. At that point of time, in order to make it let's say collective noun, you have to use a crew of sailors, okay. A crowd of passengers. You must have seen while traveling, by your bus transportation, or in order to reach your school, college, university, wherever you are going, there are some people all together, they are ready to board the bus. So that jhund, in Hindi we say, in order to call that jhund, a crowd of passengers, okay, a crowd of passengers. we can use in this way. A galaxy of talents. A galaxy of talents in the sense, what does it mean? There are so many talents. There are so many talents. That's why we are using a galaxy of talents. You guys are so talented. So I can say and I can make it claim that I have a number of students who are very much talented. So I can say only this phrase, a galaxy of talents I do have as my student. Okay. A gang of robbers. A gang of robbers. What do you mean by a gang of robbers? A gang, you can understand, of robbers. Robbers meaning those who plunder, those who loot. Okay. The innocent and the others. Okay. So a gang of robbers. Then a flock of birds. A flock of birds, that means, a flock means here, it means, getting together. Who are getting together? The birds are flying together. So their togetherness, if in order to tell about the togetherness, the birds are flying together, in the place of group we are using flock. So that will be the example of a flock of birds, right? Then a swarm of bees. What do you mean by a swarm of bees? Bees meaning, all the time they just stroll from one place to another and they just roam everywhere. So they are the bees. So when you are going to tell about their group individually, then you have to use this word swarm, 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 a swarm of bees. Now next one is a troop of soldiers. A troop of soldiers. Troop showing the unit, okay, of soldiers. That means there are so many soldiers. A troop of soldiers. You have to use all these things in order to make collective noun, right? Now here I have brought some other examples and other illustrations so that it can be again impactful for your understanding and comprehension. Here the first word is I want a few milk. I want a few milk. I want some milk. Okay, that means the amount is not so much. It's very little in amount. That's why we are using a few milk. Okay. Then the second one is he wants a little sugar. He wants a little sugar. That means he wants not so much of sugar, not so much sugar. He only wants a little sugar. That means in amount, whenever you are going to say anything, you have to use a little. Okay. Then is there any milk? Is there any milk? Now again milk is showing the quantity. That's why I am using here is there any milk. Okay, yes, there is some milk. The answer should be like this. Okay, now how much money is there? How much money is there? कितने पैसे हैं आपके पास? Okay, so I have much money. I have enough money with myself. So here I can use how much money is there. We can say we have enough money to sustain our lives. Okay. So here we are not using monies because much is always showing quantity and the noun should be always, money is a noun. Noun after much always use money or any noun that should be without plural in sense. Money is a singular noun. That's why we are using here only money. Why? Because it is showing the quantity. Okay, it is showing the quantity, it is showing the amount. Then how many boys and girls are there? Here we can use there are 5 boys and 5 girls are there. There are 5 girls or 5 boys are there. There are 5 boys and 5 girls are there. Here in this case we are showing the number. That's why we are using many. Clear? So I hope I could make you understand everything about countable and uncountable noun, and any question comes in your examination, in any whichever examination you are taking preparation for, hopefully and confidently I can say that this is going to help you to tackle all the questions in the examination. From it only mostly questions will be formed, or similar to it the questions generally do come. Take a look, revise it, not for one time but for several times. I am sure you will be getting immense amount of benefit out of it. Okay, so with this note, thank you for your time, and stay hooked on with our channel Be Incredible and subscribe to it, and any doubt if you have, do ask. Thank you for your time.